Triangles. So what are triangles? Well, remember what your prefixes mean. Tri means three, right? So a triangle is a figure that has three angles. So they can look different, right? You know, all kinds of different looking things. They can be turned sideways and things like that. But looking at our sides, the sides are the lines, okay? And remember that an angle is where two lines cross, that creates an angle. So we have three angles. So let me put some letters here. So we're looking at two different things here, and that gets a little bit tricky. You have sides and you have angles. So the sides, of course, are the line segments that create the shape. But when the lines intersect, then we get this interior thing that we're looking at. So your eye's looking on the inside, and this is my angle. So the angle is actually on the inside, and of course it's measured in degrees, which is that little circle thing that's up in the air. And the sides are measured in units of length, okay? So the side AC would be measured in meters or centimeters or inches. The angle B would be measured with degrees. So let's just talk about how do you label a triangle. So to label a triangle, you got different options. Now remember, we're in geometry or the beginning of the geometry, and we've got to kind of like learn the code. So you have to have these little things. You can't skip them. That little miniature triangle, guess what it means? Triangle ABC. Okay, so that's how do you refer to this so that I don't have to draw the picture every time? You could just write triangle ABC. Or sometimes we refer to just the angles that are, like if I want you to look right here where I wrote that word angle, then I would write the symbol angle and the capital B. Remember, you can represent an angle with just the vertex. The vertex is where the lines intersect, so that would be angle B. So we've got two different ways there, but then you also can refer to the sides, and the sides would be referred to with just the capital letters like BC, capital AC, or AB. So those would be the sides of that particular triangle. Now, one thing I need for you to understand as we start to move forward is opposite angles. So opposite angles are very important when we get into similar figures and things like that. So let's just label this triangle here with some numbers here. So let's say you've got 30 degrees here, and we'll call this ABC again, all right? So if you have an angle, then the opposite side to the angle makes a relationship, and that's a relationship we'll talk about later. So you've got to learn how to identify the opposite side of the angle, and then also from the side back to the opposite angle. So let's just look at those and kind of figure that out. So when you have this angle A, what is the opposite side to angle A? Well, this is the way I like to teach it. You put your pencil on angle A, kind of right in the center, and you pretend like you're shooting a bottle rocket. That's what I think of. Like if you've ever shot bottle rockets like out of a little can or a Coke bottle or something like that. Okay, now you put your pencil and physically shoot your little bottle rocket, and it's going to hit right in the center of this line over here. It doesn't come along here on the bottom unless you just had a dud and it never got in the air. So you want to go, okay. So what's the opposite side to angle A? It is CB or BC. You can put it either way. That doesn't matter. All right, so let's call angle B. What's the opposite side to angle B? Well, you put your pencil right here and you shoot across, what side does it hit? AC. So the opposite side is AC. What's the opposite side to C? Angle C. You guessed it. And I want you to physically draw it and shoot it, okay? So that you can kind of get the feel for that. So that's the opposite side. Now what if I gave you the angle A and I want you to give me back, if I give you the side and I want you to give me back the opposite angle. So let's just erase our stuff right here. All right, so here's your triangle. If you've got CB, how do you get back to angle A? So here's CB, kind of start in the center and pretend like you're watching the video on the rewind, going backwards. So that bottle rocket gets sucked back to where it originally started, and it started with angle A. If you're starting with AC, side AC, right here, put your pencil in the center of the line and kind of draw that, imagine in your mind that bottle rocket gets sucked back into the bottle and you're going to angle B. From AB, right here, sucked back into angle C. So those are opposite sides. Now, let's just do a quick example with this problem, okay, or with applying this concept. So if you have, let's just say you've got this triangle. Okay, you got C, D, E. And this is 14 feet. And I want you to tell me, I want you to name the angle that is opposite to the measured side. All right? So this is my measured side, 14 feet. What is the angle that's opposite to that? So I'll put my pencil kind of in the center and I do a mental rewind of that bottle rocket. And where is it going to land? It's going to land right there. Now remember, we're shifting from sides to angles, and that gets a little bit confusing. So 14 feet is a length, that's the side, but D, angle D, would be measured in degrees, and that we would be looking at the inside part of that triangle. Okay, so let's do another one. So what if you have something like this? You got 6 inches, and you got Q, S, and R. Okay, what angle is opposite to the measured side? So put your pencil on the measured side, do that little, okay, and you hit back to angle S. Now look, you have to put the angle sign, that's part of the code. And when you write it, say to yourself, angle S, angle D. So when you write it, you're mentally saying it so that when you read it in a problem, it doesn't throw you off.